I think, please, you can also send in your questions so that I could read them. Yeah, good. Okay, you want me to make videos about graduate admission in the US? Okay. Yes. I have actually piled up some videos on graduate admission on the US. That is masters and PhD. And also I've piled up some videos on graduate admissions in the Europe countries like Germany, Austria, Switzerland, because I believe these countries are very also good. So I'll be sending these videos. Actually, like, I want to take about 1 full month to make back to back content, because I realize I've not been posting so many videos, and that led to my views and my followers, always asking. And then I can't give excuse, but then I would say that I was quite busy because I was doing my master's thesis in Austria. And then right after my master's thesis, there was no break for me. There was no break. I couldn't even relax. I had to come straight to Switzerland to start another internship. So it was quite difficult for me to be doing videos. That's why I I have not been doing so many things. So I'm trying to figure out my way out to bring content. I'm trying to invite people to come on the live so that we could have an interactive Can I know the people who have joined here? Okay, I see Akosia. I see Joycelyn. Joycelyn and Akosia. Okay. Okay, you are looking to do masters from Switzerland. Any suggestions? Yes, I would say that masters in Switzerland, you have to. I have some schools that I can recommend. But then if I know your field of studies, maybe I can recommend particular schools. But in general, if you want to do masters in Switzerland, you have to look for schools like the famous one is the ETH is in Zurich. They have the UZH in also Zurich. Currently, I am in Saint Gallen. It is one of the states or cantons of Switzerland. And here they have the University of Saint Gallen, and that one is more of the business sciences aspect. So it's not for, let's say, health sciences or engineering. So if I know your field of studies more, then I can maybe guide you with some school, or I can give you some schools that you can take a look at. And so if you are looking to study in Switzerland, you have to also be prepared to, if you want to get scholarship especially, you have to be very active in searching for, because it's not so common to get scholarships in countries like Switzerland, because their tuition fees usually very cheap or no tuition. So you have to, but they have sponsorship. I go to church with one lady from Kenya, where she came here to do her PhD on scholarship. So there are scholarships as well. Okay, so I hope I answered the question. Please give me a few minutes. Let me invite some few people here so that we can I can and also let me get you a link so that you can join my video and you ask your question directly. Okay. Okay, so your question is, what about University of Benin? Do work experience required for masters? Is it mandatory? Thank you. No, no, no. Work experience is not mandatory for masters in Switzerland or any school in Europe unless they specifically state it. But usually you don't have to have work experience. If you have it, you can add it to your CV and it can help them pick you or qualify you. But generally there is no work experience as part of the requirement for studying in Europe or in Switzerland as regular. And somebody said, I want to, what about, I'm looking to do masters in economics in a school with a cheaper tuition fee. Please, in a school with a cheaper tuition fee, in which country? Like maybe in Europe, or maybe you want US or Canada. You make it more specific so that I can guide you there. In Canada and Europe. Also, okay, so in Canada, I think some of the schools I can recommend for you is, let's say, University of Saskatchewan, or however they pronounce it, Saskatoon. There is also University of Calgary. They are good in economics. There is the University of Waterloo. These schools are quite competitive. But if you want to have a very cheap tuition fee in Canada, then you would need to, some usually you would need to attend colleges rather than universities, or you will need to do, maybe, let's say, postgraduate diploma courses instead of masters, because these courses are quite cheaper than the masters. Canada, they have a lot of scholarships, but it's usually when you get a how do I say it, like an assistantship with a professor or at a faculty, like you get teaching assistants. That's when they pay you your tuition fee and also give you a sense and another, like something to be your pocket money. But then aside from that, there are few fully funded scholarship, or and so if you want to study in Canada and you want a cheaper tuition fee, I would advise that you go for colleges instead of universities. And so what I'm gonna do is that, now that I know, I'm going to be listing schools like colleges in Canada that you can apply for. So please look out for. I also encourage you to join my Telegram page if you've not, so that I'll be dropping these things down there for you, so you can join, you can access it. You want to How can I connect with you personally? I want to gain more knowledge. Right now, I'm doing bachelor's in computer application. Yeah, people say my some people say non-EU students get jobs in Switzerland. Yeah, of course. I mean, Switzerland is open to everybody, whether you're an EU or non-EU. And it's not only Switzerland. I think all the EU countries like Germany, Austria, at least those countries are what I've been in. I've been in Germany, Austria, and now in Switzerland. And there are a lot of non-EUs there who are working. So they are jobs, I would say. There are there are a lot of jobs. Like if you search for it, you can find job, whether related to your field of studies or maybe menial jobs. They are always open to non-EU workers or non-EU students. So yeah. And then Mickey had you said in Canada and in Europe. So for me, so for me in Europe especially, I know most about Germany because that's what I used to come. And so I always give out link where you can use to search for schools in Germany, which is the DAAD link. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have my Telegram channel, you can go under any post my YouTube videos. I always link my Telegram channel there. When you join, I have already put the links of the DAAD where you can search for economic schools. So when you go to that link and you put economics and you put maybe masters and you choose the language as English and you filter it, all schools that offer economic related programs would come, and then you can visit the schools individually. So when you join my Telegram page, you can access the DAAD link, or go to Instagram and send me a DM and I would send you over the link to search for your economic schools. And then can that say, you said, is it hard to get job in Switzerland for non-EU students? I wouldn't say it is hard. Some people could argue, and it's not only for EU, it's not only for Switzerland, but many EU countries. It could be tough to get a job, but it could also be easy. The thing is that there are lots of jobs in Switzerland and, for example, in Germany, but then when you go on something like LinkedIn to apply, you will know that there are a lot of jobs available for jobs in Germany or in Switzerland. And because it's on LinkedIn, there are a lot of people who see the advertisement and apply. So there could be a lot of rejections. But then when you try to apply as many times as possible, you are definitely going to get something. I remember before I came, I went to Austria and then came here to Switzerland. I had about I put about a month there to apply for job, and within that month I got something. So that is to say that it could be tough, but you get a lot of rejections, because I remember I was seeking for somewhere to do my master's thesis, and I applied to a lot of places, but I was getting rejections. But you just need one. I just needed just one company, and luckily one company found me in, I emailed them, they got me interested in me in Austria, and then so I mean you can take a month out to find a job, a month to 3 months, and definitely you are going to get something. So it could be tough, but it's not impossible. Yeah. Does someone know how I could add a link that somebody can join and ask me questions? Because I'm trying to use StreamYard. Yes, so Mickey said, if you go to college in Canada after, can you cross to masters? Yes, you can. Yeah, very possible. Okay. Any more questions? I'm getting what master should I do in Switzerland? I'm doing bachelor's in computer application like management technical. And do you suggest university and will it worth to do masters in Switzerland? Yes, it is really worth it to do masters in Switzerland. Today at church, I was speaking to a Kenyan woman who is doing her PhD here in Switzerland, and then we were discussing about masters and PhD in US and in Switzerland. And according to her, so she does her PhD here in Switzerland, and she was in US about last 3 weeks ago to do a conference as part of her PhD in Switzerland. And she said that to her it is better to do masters or PhD in Switzerland than in US. And the reason is because Switzerland is a very, Europe in general is very nice place for me. Maybe I have applied to for people to US, to Canada, and so I know the application system. But to her, she said when it comes to especially the money wise, it is very like Switzerland is an expensive country and they have a lot of money, so they pay well. And so she was saying that if you they take all your taxes and all your health insurance and everything from it, as a master's or PhD student in Switzerland, you can get around 3,800 euros. But in US, it's around, most of the time the maximum I know is around $3,000. So that is even in the money wise. And Switzerland, when it comes to the research, they have a lot of well equipped like industries and even technology to help you in your masters or in your PhD you are doing. So it is no different from the US. It may even be better, in I can say. So you don't lack anything, and then they pay well. So it's very worth it to do your masters or your PhD in Switzerland. And then, and you said, what universities do I recommend? It's actually quite easy to, because Switzerland is not so big, so they have just a few universities. But then I have to so I'm looking at putting these universities in an Excel file, and then I'll share it country by country, like maybe Canada, here schools I recommend when you do this and when you do these fields. So it is something I'm already working on. So but you can also send me a DM on Instagram that maybe you join my life and you want to know schools for you in Switzerland, and then I can search it and send you instantly. That's also okay. I don't have a Twitter account. I am not on Twitter. I'm sorry, but I am on Instagram. And my Instagram is Ask Kuukua, just like my YouTube channel name. So join follow me on Instagram and send me a DM, please. Send me a DM on Instagram. Very active on Instagram. Very active. I'm trying to please, does someone know how I can get maybe a link so I post it and somebody would join and ask me question? I think that one will be nicer. Okay, so what school in Germany did I attend? I attended Hochschule Anhalt, or we call it University of Applied Sciences in Anhalt University, and I'm doing my master's in molecular biotechnology. And then my experience, you asked, you said can I share my experience? Okay, so experience in what sense? Okay, but then I can say that in a nutshell, it's okay for me to study in Germany because first of all, my master's is in English, and so it's okay to studies. It was not hard, and I came when the corona season was still intact. It was not on because it was going. That was in 2022. Corona was 2020, but I came to Germany in 2022, so 2 years after corona. But we had still not resumed classes. It was online, but then it was good. And I could say that Germany in particular is a very nice place to study with vast opportunity, vast a lot of opportunity. So when it comes to example work, many of the students they work menial jobs, some few hours jobs and all these things. So it's quite easy to find jobs to do when you are when you are schooling. And then what makes me love schooling in Germany or in Europe in particular is that it's very interconnected. European countries are interconnected so much that they push students to do internship and practical internships in different countries, so like for me, you see, I'm studying in Germany, but I had a chance to do my internship in Austria, and then it was through Erasmus program. So every school in Germany, every university has Erasmus, and has like maybe another organization for exchange students, at least one organization for exchanging students, because that's why they want to keep the European Union intact. So European countries interchange their countries as much as they can. So they take students outside their country, and they sponsor you to do the internships. They pay you. And so that is one thing I really love about studying in Europe. So my experience so far is good. I would say it's okay for me. Yeah. So I'm pursuing molecular biotechnology. And can an average student get admitted to a Swiss public? Yeah. So what I always suggest is that when you want to, it's not only in Swiss public university, any university at all. When you want to apply, you have to search it. You have to make sure that you meet their requirements. Even if you are an average student, every school has a cutoff point. Every field of study has a cutoff point that you have to apply so that you can meet their requirements, and you can follow what they want. But then averagely, you can get into a public school when you apply to Switzerland. It doesn't really take any extra thing. The basic requirements are transcripts, your certificates, recommendation letters. That's basically the requirement: transcripts and certificate. And then recommendation letters, maybe some schools may not even ask for recommendation letters, some may ask. So if you have your transcripts intact, and so, but I cannot say maybe you have to have maybe first class or second class or third class, because every school and every field of study has their own criteria for selecting students. Sometimes you can say that maybe you're a first class student, but then somebody with a second class and perhaps has been working in industry can somehow draft their statement of purpose to convince the admission team to pick them. So you have to know basic things aside from your certificate. What I learned is that you have to pitch yourself as a student, right? Every skill you have, every internship you've done, everything academically, you can add it to your application, and it can help you. And then you said you like Germany. I am interested in Germany too. I mean, Germany has been my savior country. So I come from Ghana, but then Germany now is my second country. But Austria is trying to be my second country, because when I went to Austria, it was a very nice place. Ideally, I didn't even know Austria, right? Everybody knows Australia, but there is Austria in Europe, and that country is so amazing. Currently, it is my favorite out of the three: Germany, Switzerland, Austria. I love Austria. It's the same, almost the same as Germany and Switzerland. It's not so much different, but The people there are so sweet that I really fell in love with the country. So these countries, they all speak German, so they are similar. Almost everything done in Germany is done in Austria and in Switzerland, especially in applying for schools. So I'll be talking on that most. But the sad thing is that people are not so much interested in studying in Europe and in these countries. Everybody wants the US, the Canada, and the UK. So in as much as I'll be bringing these countries like US, Canada, UK kind of popular destinations, I'll also be educating people about studying in Europe like I'm doing in my live session, because I would say that European, even if I always say that if US and Canada is your destinating country, that's where you want to go, it will be good to at least try or open up your mind to study in Europe, and through Europe go to your US and your Canada, because it's easier to get a visa from Europe than from Ghana or from Nigeria, right? Last week or so, I looked at the Swiss embassy's appointment waiting time to get a visa to the US, and it was just 1 day. Like if you apply for an appointment for a visa today, tomorrow you'll be going for a visa interview. And then I checked Ghana, the waiting time, and it was 365 days on their website. I was like, what? So even if US and Canada is your destination, you can pass through Europe to Canada and US. It's simple. So don't close your minds to the studying in Europe. So in Europe, if you get the option to study for masters, where would you prefer? Germany, France, Netherlands, Switzerland, Sweden, Ireland, Austria, etc. For studying, for social life, culture, and to settle. So, um, so to answer Kendall your your question, Germany, France, Netherlands, Switzerland, Ireland. I don't know much about France, Sweden, and Ireland, those countries that I've not been to. For me, I can personally talk about Germany, Austria, Switzerland. But even those that have not been to, I still can talk somehow about it. I would say that generally it is very okay. It is very, like, on a normal standard, very good for students to study in Europe in particular. Very, very nice. Like, they open up opportunity for students, I would say, in Europe as a whole. Example, I know people studying in Switzerland and it's amazing for them. I really don't know anybody studying in Ireland though. But then these countries, Netherlands, they are not so different from Germany. It's a very amazing country, and they all spend euros, and the things that are done in Germany are not so different from what is done in France. It's almost the same. I always tell my family that abroad is like one big city. They are all the same. The buildings, the culture, the people. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. But then when it comes to social life, maybe it will differ because of culture. But then for me, when I went to Germany, the social life, it would be different, because for me, I found a lot of Ghanaians that I was mingling with, I was going to church with. So that gave me a different kind of social life, especially when I was in Austria. I was surrounded by so many Ghanaians, which made me love the country so much. And so I had a beautiful social life. But when I was in Germany, when my school is that I'm studying is in a very small town, so there were no Ghanaians, and so I felt a bit lonely. But when I went to Austria, I was in a bigger city and I had a lot of Ghanaian friends and I loved it. I came here to Switzerland, I met a lot of Ghanaians and I love it because this is also a bigger city. And so that is it, how it can differ from social life depending on the city you are in, the community you join. And but after all, anything that you need more or less will be available for your social life. And then, but I could also say that Switzerland, among all, it's very expensive. Switzerland is extremely expensive, but then it pays well. So example, the if you are in Germany and you are earning like 2008 2008 euros in a month. You the same thing that you'll be doing in Germany for 2008, you'll be doing it in Switzerland, and you can earn like 5,000. That is almost times two, or even 6,000, because Switzerland is expensive. So you get a lot of money in Switzerland, but the living expenses may be like, it will balance out and it will be as if you are living in Germany, quote unquote. But maybe I think Switzerland is higher than Germany when it comes to finance. You may get a lot of money in Switzerland than in Germany. So that's what I can see. Um So you allow me to give a detailed information on how to apply for schools in Germany. Obviously, I think I already have one video on my YouTube channel. My very first three videos was on studying in Germany, because I was still doing study in Germany abroad. But then I'll do a video on that. And I learned, I help a lot of students. I have a lot of students I've helped in applying for German schools, which I gain admissions for them. So you can always hit me up on Instagram, and we can start talking, and we know how to go about it. And someone asked the question. Is it true one needs to have someone in the country one is applying for due to the question the visa? No, not really. If you don't have anybody, it's okay. It's okay to not have anybody, because you are coming to school. You are not coming to go to a family member. If you have all your documents, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. You may not need to have anybody here. If you have somebody too, it's all fine. It depends on the situation. So yeah. I really would wish that someone can join me. Is it possible to to invite people? Oh, oh, excuse me. I want to check something, please. Mm. The tuition, Germans don't have applicant they don't have tuition fee. Germans public schools do not take tuition fees. Most public schools are free. They only take what we call semester contribution, and it ranges anything from, maybe it ranges from, let's say, 60 euros to maximum 300 euros. For me, I pay 96 euros a semester, and semester is 6 months per semester, and I paid for 6 months. I pay 96 euros. So yeah, we don't pay tuition fee in Germany. It's the same as in Austria as well. Mhm. Sorry, I'm trying to check on Germany. lot of Ghanaians that I was mingling with, I was going to church with. So that gave me a different kind of social life, especially when I was in Austria. I was surrounded by. Sorry, I was trying to check up on my life to make sure that it's going live so that um anybody. Okay, so application fee Germany has two ways of um Germany has two ways of applying. So one is when the school asks you to apply directly to them. So if you're applying directly to them, then it's mostly free, but like almost 90% of the schools would want international students to apply through what we call uni assist. So the uni assist is like an institution where they take all your documents and then they convert your grades to the German grades and pose you as the same as a German student and apply on your behalf to the university, or give you the documents you would need to apply to the university. And so for that they charge. And so for that they charge the first school you apply for 75 euros, and any other school is 35 euros. So example, if you're applying for two schools, it will be 75 euros plus 35 euros, which will be like 110 euros for two schools. So that's what it is in Germany. Yeah. I hope I have been able to answer all the questions. You come with your sponsor, as in your sponsor. I don't get it as your sponsor, or you mean your family. If you want to come with your sponsor, the one sponsoring you, you want to come to Germany with the one sponsoring you. Is that what you mean? Because for that I don't know, but I know you can come with your spouse. Okay, sorry. You can come with your spouse and your family. Yes, we have what we call the family reunion in Germany. So the family reunion visa is ideally for those who are um like, if you're a student here, you can apply for a family reunion for your family to come. But then, unlike UK where you can go with them at the same time, this time round you have to come first, and then you settle, you get an accommodation, and then you apply for them to come and join you. It's possible like that. They have a specific visa for family reunion. So like if it's your spouse, you have to show your marriage certificate. If it's your child, your the birth cert and all those things. And then you have to find financial proof as well, like the money you are going to use to cater for them when they come. So I know that, for Germany, when you apply and you are going for visa, there are three ways of showing your financial proof. It's either you have a scholarship, or you have somebody living and working in Germany who would apply for what we call the obligatory letter, that when you come they will look after you. Or, and then the third one is you open a blocked account. So the blocked account is like you kind of um how do we say, you put money in German bank that will cater for you for the next 12 months. And so if you're coming with your spouse, if you're blocked for one individual, the blocked account is 11,208 euros. So for your wife it's going to be double, and then for the child it's going to be half of 11,000. So you have to show this money. Otherwise you have to have somebody in Germany who can show that they will cater for you. And yeah. I don't get it. Which is the best masters to apply in Olympia? Well, it depends on your field of studies. Ideally, what you are doing, what you did in bachelor's is what you are going to do in master's, right? So what you did is what you are going to master. And so example like in Germany, for instance, a lot of master's courses, when you're applying, you have to have at least a foundation in it to show. So if you want to do like IT technology kind of masters and you don't have any field in IT, some schools don't really matter. They still accept students without maybe an IT background. For most of the schools, they would want you to have an IT background. And so you can apply when you have it. And so computer application is a very growing field, not only in Germany, but in the entire world. And so I would say it's a big course that you have a lot of prospects to apply with. So, like for example, if you are doing computer application, when you go to the DAAD link, you just put computer application inside, you choose masters. All schools related to computer application courses will come. All courses, the link would just filter it for you. So yeah. So because Germany schools are free, there are not so many scholarship, because what are they giving you the scholarship for if tuition fee is free? You are not paying tuition fee. But then there are still some scholarships like the DAD scholarships where it will sponsor your living expenses, because tuition fee is already free. So the scholarships are for living expenses. But then there are not so many scholarships because there is no tuition fee. Please send me an Instagram message and I'll send you the DAD link. Yeah, please, I would like to end the live. Um, this is my first ever live, so I was trying out how it's done, and then I would I'll come back maybe in this week. Please, if you don't follow me on Instagram or YouTube, I'll be posting how I'll be coming live so that we can have an interactive session. I'm going to find out how I would get links so that people can join me here so that the questions and answering will be more interactive for the next time. But then I really like the questions I was getting. It really shows that people are interested. It was nice talking to you to Kendall. Please hit me up on Instagram. Ask Kuukua. It's my Instagram account. Just send me a message and we can start chatting, and then I can answer your follow-up questions. All right, then. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Mr. Siama. Thank you. I'll come back big next time for the live. I'll make more announcement. This one was impromptu, so more announcement. People can join. Can have a lot of questions to answer. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Mickey. Thank you. Okay, then bye. Thank you.